Chapter 3. Paths Converge. Thalion turned to see a stout dwarf with a fiery beard and a mischievous glint in his eye. Despite the dwarf's gruff appearance, Thalion felt a sense of camaraderie.
"I'm Thalion," he replied, extending a hand. "I'm on a journey to find the Elven Queen of Lothloria. And you?"
"Name's Grimbold," the dwarf said, shaking Thalion's hand with a surprisingly strong grip. "I've got a map that's led me to this forest. Seems like our paths might be more linked than a chainmail shirt."
"Perhaps we should travel together. Two are stronger than one, especially in these lands."
"Agreed," Grimbold said, eyes twinkling. "Besides, I could use someone to talk to besides myself."
As the unlikely duo made their way deeper into the forest, the air grew thick with enchantment. The trees whispered ancient secrets, and the path seemed to shimmer with an otherworldly light.
Just as they reached a clearing, a low growl echoed through the woods. "Did you hear that?" Grimbold asked, his hand already on the hilt of his axe.
Thalion nodded, drawing his sword. "Stay alert."
Suddenly from the shadows emerged a group of Draconis' minions, hulking trolls with gnarled, moss-covered skin and eyes burning with malevolence. Thalion and Grimbold braced themselves as the trolls charged.
Thalion met the first troll head-on, his sword clashing against its crude club. The impact jolted through his arm, but he held firm, using his agility to dodge a swipe aimed at his head.
Grimbold, meanwhile, let out a battle cry and swung his axe with ferocious precision, cleaving through the leg of a troll. The creature roared in pain and fury, swinging its massive fist towards the dwarf.
Grimbold ducked, rolling to the side and coming up with a grin. "You'll have to do better than that," he taunted.
Thalion found himself facing the sorcerer, who muttered dark incantations, sending bolts of crackling energy towards him. Thalion dodged, feeling the heat of the magic as it singed the air around him. He closed the distance quickly, his sword slashing towards the sorcerer's staff.
The sorcerer parried with surprising agility, but Thalion pressed on, each strike more determined than the last. With a final powerful swing, Thalion shattered the staff, causing a burst of dark energy that knocked the sorcerer back.
Grimbold, having dispatched another troll, turned to see the remaining creatures hesitating.
"Looks like your friends are getting cold feet," he called to Thalion, who nodded and pressed his advantage.
With coordinated attacks, Thalion and Grimbold fought back the trolls, their movements becoming a deadly dance of steel and strength. Finally, with a swift strike to the throat, Thalion felled the last troll, its body collapsing heavily to the forest floor. The sorcerer, weakened and defeated, tried to crawl away, but Thalion stepped forward, his sword poised.
"Who sent you?" Thalion demanded.
The sorcerer spat, his eyes filled with malice. "You may have won this battle, but Draconis will crush you. His darkness will consume everything."
With a swift motion, Grimbold knocked the sorcerer unconscious with the butt of his axe.
"Save your threats for someone who cares," he muttered.
Thalion smiled. Indeed. Breathing heavily, Thalion and Grimbold surveyed the battlefield. The forest, though bruised and battered, seemed to shimmer with approval, as if acknowledging their victory. "Well fought, lad," Grimbold said, clapping Thalion on the back. "Seems we make a pretty good team." But this is only the beginning. We must reach Lothloria and find Queen Ilaria.
"Then let's not waste any more time," Grimbold said. "Lead the way, Thalion."
Together they continued their journey, unaware that their actions had already set in motion a series of events that would change the fate of Eldoria forever. As they traveled, the bond between them grew, forged in the heat of battle and tempered by mutual respect. And so, the paths of the boy who would become king and the dwarf with a heart of gold were irrevocably intertwined as they moved ever closer to their destiny. To be continued.